Okay, let's get it started in English. Okay. So my first question will be, you know, what about, you remember the concept of libido that we discussed about this concept, to be honest, many weeks. Yeah, so it's not first week when we talk about libido. But if to speak with one word, how would you describe the word libido? What does it mean, libido? Energy. Okay, it's enough. I mean, let's keep this sexual word like addition. Yeah. So you have to understand. So because it's psychoanalytic tradition, and because Ericsson, as I told, yeah, he was a psychoanalyst. He still keeps this tradition about libido, about energy. But you have to understand, and you have to remember always that Freud and Jung was two person in a psychoanalytic approach who really kind did really, how to say, they made this libido as one of the main theme of their theory. So they believed in energy. Remember when I was talking with you about okay, sexual energy, that it has stages, yeah, when we were talking about libido, that sometimes when we do not realize our libido, we have some problems. It can be cause of neurosis, psychosis, and etc. Yeah. So in Jung theory, the libido is not only sexual energy, yeah, it's psychic energy, it's in general, yeah, energy in general. So Jung was consider libido more wider, yeah, than Freud, but anyway, it's energy, so it's something that has direction, yeah, and for example, if in Freud theory libido is blocked, we have some problems, but in Jung theory, for example, libido, it helps us, yeah, it has two directions, yeah, remember, progressive and regressive, and our ego appears with the help of libido, and etc. Yeah. So why I'm starting with this? Because I want to ask you a question. You study psychology, so your profession will be psychologist or psychotherapist, I don't know, maybe counselor, but it doesn't matter. Actually, the main word here is psychology. The first part of this word is psyche. Yeah, if to give direct translation, we have soul. Yeah, remember this. You know this. I mean, not like remember, you know this. But how you understand? How do you understand personally this word psychic energy? Do you believe that we have psychic energy? Do you believe in these things that Freud and Jung were describing as energy? If so, then tell, what do you think, how you describe, how you understand this? What does it mean, energy? You have to understand, when Freud invented his psychoanalysis, I 1,000 times told you, psychoanalysis, that means psychological analysis. When you decided to study psychology, you didn't choose math. So why did you choose? You choose this subject where the first word of this, yeah, psychology, where the first part of this word is psyche. This is soul. That's something that you can't prove. That I mean, that the existence of soul we can't prove. And it's not like I'm trying to put you in philosophical position whether you believe in soul or not. No, what I'm trying to tell you that you have to definitely understand these things. When Freud paid attention on this thing, he paid attention that we have something that is called psyche. It's like psychological concept, yeah? This is concept of psyche, I told you, the concept психического, да? То есть, so you have to understand in psychotherapy, for example, if you, I don't know, maybe somewhere or someday had some talk with psychiatrists. Did you have with psychiatrists? Did you speak with them? You're likely. I hope you won't, but okay. You have to. They tell, for example, your your energy is low, so you should sleep more to recover your energy. Here, for example, some pills for you because your psychic state are not on the kind of certain level and you feel tired. So understand the seeds. So this concept is concept you have to understand. It's a psychic energy. So it's something that we can't touch, we can't prove, but it's something that we really have. And for example, when psychiatrists, so it's you're right, even the things you are not agree with me, this is the things always it's your psychic energy. You have power to resist, you have power not to agree with me, but this is your psychic energy. For example, yeah, you understand? So this is like a trigger, understand? So the easiest thing, you don't understand, yeah? Or you do. So the easiest thing, for example, to feel this energy, the concept of energy, the easiest thing to feel is, for example, what we have in Eastern philosophy that is called as Qi, Qi, and Qi. Have you heard?
Yes, probably.
Yes. Do you know what does it mean? Qi, Qi, or Qi? Oh, really? So this is the closest thing, to be honest, to libido. This is the closest thing to psychic energy. And in that sense, for example, in psychology, we can't prove, yeah, that this psychic energy exists. But in, for example, Aikido, term Aikido, Ki, this is like the key word in this Aikido. That means energy. This means actually psychic energy. Why? For me, it's a little bit easier because I really believe in this concept of Ki, yeah? So it's, for me, it's easy. It doesn't mean that you have to also believe, yeah, in this concept. It's my kind of opinion. It doesn't matter, I mean, if you believe or not, but it's my opinion. Maybe you believe in something else, it's okay. But why for me it's easier? Because sometimes it's literally when I do practice with some masters who has really high level, yeah, for example, they were direct pupil of Ueshiba. Ueshiba, this is founder of Aikido. You really can feel you know, the energy when they just enter into the room. You already feel it. It's like really, how to say, you can't touch it. It's literally you feel it, the level of this wisdom, yeah, the level of this master. I don't know. It's like many things. I understand this thing. So it's without word. And of course, if you work with them, or if you do technique with them, for example, physically, I literally can feel it. It will be really different if, for example, I do technique with any of you. So you understand? So that is why for me it's easier. But why I'm trying to pay your attention on that, because we are in a psychoanalytic approach. And what did I tell? Yes, so libido, this is concept that we call, okay, let's call it psychic energy anyway. So Freud was the first one who, yeah, gives this thing, and he called it as an energy. So something we have inside, yeah. But it was only sexual energy. Remember, Jung kind of made this term wider, so it's like psychic energy in general, and all the things we discussed already. And all other psychoanalytics, some of them, they believe in this. In this thing, yeah. But what about Eric Ericsson? Yeah, so he was the representative of ego psychology. So just called ego psychology. So remember, yeah, libido, and you remember the structure of personality by Freud. Do you remember? Give me. Id, ego, and superego. So something, yeah, similar in this word, yeah, you see? So what did Eric Ericsson do? He actually was not, how to say, he didn't have education, he was not trained as medical, yeah, stuff. So he was not psychiatrist, as for example Jung was. He was not Freud was, who was? Neurologist. He was not neurologist. So all of these people I told you, yeah, they kind of belong somehow to medicine. Eric Ericsson, he didn't belong to medicine. Guess what he studied? He was taken by Anna Freud, work with children, but why he was taken? Because he has a profession, a specialty actually. Guess what he did? What? No, just try. Huh? Artist, painter. He could draw. He studied artist. He studied drawing. So it's, and you can understand, yeah, it's a really different way of understanding, yeah, reality. And he was from a Jewish family, yeah, and you remember maybe this scene from historical part, yeah, that it was First World War, yeah, then Second World War, and you remember that it was not so good relationship with Jewish society, yeah, in that sense. And at first he was starting with Anna Freud. He was analyzed by her. Anna Freud, this is daughter of Sigmund Freud, you know, yeah. So she is actually one of the, not like founder, but maybe even she is like a founder of ego psychology, yeah. So she made really huge influence on this ego psychology, and she was working with children. And for example, people who are studying psychoanalysis, they have some children, and they have special place for these children. And actually, Ericsson was taken to this place to work with children whose parents decided to be psychoanalytic. So he taught them drawing. So you understand, yeah, it's not like Freud, remember, yeah, studied neurology and all this story with Paris, yeah, then arriving to Europe. Jung, yeah, remember this kind of story of his life. So this person had different, yeah, education. So the way of understanding, yeah, the world is a little bit different. I told you that first education kind of gives a lot of, it's like a basement for you. So if you study psychology, you will be kind of understanding the world from this point of view. If you, for example, after psychology will be studying math, it will be different, because psychology already brings you something, yeah? In that sense, you have to be more flexible. So in that sense, you have more responsibility than, for example, people who study math have. Yeah, you understand? That you are more responsible because you have to be more flexible. You have to see all this diversity, yeah, of all these things that we have and that we call as psychic. I don't know. And in that sense, Eric Ericsson was trained psychoanalysis by Anna Freud. She was doing not like trained. He actually was he was in psychoanalysis with her. And of course it gets his attention, and then he started to develop his own theory when he immigrated from Europe, because in 30, yeah, it was in 30s of last century, people kind of didn't like Jewish, and in that sense he felt this tense, and he did immigration to United States actually, and there he did degree, and there he started his work. He was working for many years as a professor in some really huge universities in the United States. And what the main thing he did and why people know him, of course, this term ego identity and this crisis, yeah, that crisis. Have you heard ego identity? Okay, so why I paid your attention that he was part of ego psychology. So the concept that we're using in psychoanalytic approach that called as libido, remember, yeah? In ego psychology, they kind of didn't pay so much attention to this concept. For example, as we now, we did a lot of attention, yeah, we pay attention on this libido, on this describing of psychic energy, so many minutes of our first lesson, yeah. But why did I do it? Yeah, because Ericsson, he tried to go further. So they believed, of course, in this concept, but what they did, these people who were participants of ego psychology, and he was one of them. So we have ego, remember, yeah? So we have this ego, and this ego has to pass several stages, yeah? So to become true myself, to become who I am and find my own identity, I have to pass through some stages, yeah? Understand the other things? It reminds you something. It has to remind you something, to be honest. I told you in different theories. Huh? Yeah, so it's in Jung theory, yeah, remember, he didn't describe it, for example, as the stages, yeah, but anyway, he told that the ego has to come from one side, so it's a different understanding of ego, yeah. You have to keep this in mind, because Ericsson understood ego, id and superego as Freud. I mean, there are some similarities. So anyway, he's from psychoanalytic approach, yeah? So did you get this? I don't need to explain you more about ego, yeah? And okay, what he also did. So he tells that we have something that we call as identity. It's a different term than ego, yeah? How do you understand this term? How do I identify myself? What does it mean? Can you give an example? How can I identify myself? Yeah, it can be like some roles, yeah? Some roles, good. What else? How you perceive yourself? Yeah, it can be many, yeah, that's true. It's something that I perceive from society, something that I kind of develop about myself, yeah?
You can shape it yourself, for example. You can shape it yourself.
You can shape, yeah, that's true. With the help of other people. And yeah, because it's important part, yeah, of our life. Yes, remember we did this who am I test, remember? Do you remember the answers? So this is your identity, yeah? So you understand the other things. But anyway, I think, how do you prefer? I would write it, or I should spell this part of identity. How it will be easier? Because I can spell it and you will write, or I will write. Okay.
Let's write.
Okay. I think next time I won't ask. Yeah, I will do both. Okay. We are trying to kind of consider his concept of identity. It's not only this one word. This identity consists of four how to say, four parts. I don't know, four things, four concept parts. Yeah. So the first part of our identity is individuality, yeah? How do you understand this word? Individuality.
It's like separation.
It's like separation, okay, what individuality? Our own traits, yeah, yeah. Us, yes, that's true. Okay, it's easy, it's true. So individuality is something only about you. It's something unique, yeah. That feature, or maybe I don't know, that characteristic or something else that you have, habit, I don't know, friend, relationship, and etc. So something unique. Okay, second part of this identity, wholeness and synthesis. How do you understand this? Complex. Wholeness, okay. So how to understand? For example, we consider now the concept of identity, yeah? My identity, your identity, so you have individuality, okay, we got it. Second, we have this wholeness, yeah, and synthesis. What does it mean? How can you feel it? So in that sense, it's something unique. You can, yeah, define these things about yourself. How you understand about this?
То, что может быть соединение всего, что внутри внутри нас есть, то есть если индивидуальность это то, что нас отличает, а wholeness это может быть то, что и объединяет, и некоторые выученные наши, может быть, привычки, некоторые черты, модель поведения, вот это все.
Yes, it's like together. That's the main thing. Yeah, you see, because sometimes remember this concept when I was telling you about Jung, about this complex psychology, that complex and all these parts. It's like so it's like. Our identity can be divided on different parts, yeah? And in that sense, Ericsson tells it's really important for us if we have this feeling of wholeness. So it's not like we have to divide it on different parts. It's true. If I have different understanding, yeah, different memories, understand, yeah, the things. It's really important part of my identity. I have to be wholeness and synthesis. Understand? Синтез. Ну да, это способность к объединению, по сути дела. Целостность, да, и способность к объединению. Понятно, да, вам? Да. So I understood, yeah? Okay, next one. Sameness and continuity. Have you heard? And how you understand this? Sameness and continuity. Okay, I'll try to explain. So again, it's identity, yeah? So this individuality, something unique we have. At the same time, we have something that is called sameness and continuity. So, understand, yeah? So it's like when my identity is something not only I consider like whole. For example, I am developing through all my life, and I don't stay on the same position. For example, if you see me, I don't know, 20 years ago, for example, I was a person. I don't know how to describe. So just imagine that I was different person. Yeah, I behave differently, but anyway, this is part of my identity. I don't deny it. And now, for example, I am getting older. Yeah, and anyway, this is a part of my identity. I still use these features that I had 20 years ago, for example. So they didn't kind of disappear. That means that it's like sameness and continuity, that I'm developing, but anyway, something I still, it's like continuation. So some features they are developing, but it's not like I had it and then I don't have it at all. Understand? Yeah, the things. It's not only about features, it's about identity. Huh? Yes, that's a thing. That's a really important thing about identity, because Eric Ericsson, he had really huge influence on this psychology, and this part of psychology that do a lot of researches about identity crisis, and all these things. Not about, I'm talking about not psychotherapy or counseling. I'm talking about more research and all this part of psychology that we have not in practical things. Yeah, understand? Yeah. Yeah.
Вот если вы говорите, что вот эти некоторые черта не сохраняются, identity, да, в течение жизни, но раньше вы были, например, действовали по-другому, а теперь действуете тоже по-другому. Это значит ли то, что те же самые черты, просто они проявляются в другом виде?
Yes, it can be like that. Yeah, it can. Yeah, yes. It's like it's like I'm continuing myself. My identity is. It's not like it dies. It's not, yes, it's something that has continuation. It's really important. Yeah, because why I'm trying to explain you these things, because it's really important for these stages, this developing, the stages of developing, yeah? So it's really important. At first you have to understand what he understood when he described this term identity crisis, yeah? Because at first we have to understand what does identity mean, and then you have to understand what this crisis mean, if you can say. So you got it, yes, sameness and continuity. So how we decided to translate it? Это тождественность и вот этот продолжительность. Ну, короче, вы смысл просто уловили, да? Okay, the fourth part. So it's social solidarity. Do you understand what does it mean?
Это как раз таки то, что нас с обществом.
Yes. Yes, it's like it's not only so this trick of English language here. It's not only about solidarity. I mean, солидарность на русском. Ну, поняли, да, что in this part it's like about what we have in us with the help of society, whether we have agreement with this, I don't know, social norms, what do we have, I don't know, values, ideas, so you understand, yeah? And this is our identity. Got it? I want to be sure because next step will be the stages. If you have some question now, just ask. It's really important. You understood this? So identity, I don't know how to describe it with one word. Who will ask you? So you will be clever then and tell, Ericsson understood these things with 4 concepts of this identity. It's not only one word. Okay, but it's an image of myself. I don't know, the way I understand myself. It's like more like that, I suppose. In Russian language, we use sometimes the word «я концепция», «идентичность», «личность», образ я. Understood, yeah? So the image of myself, personality, self-conception, self-concept, and self-conception, yeah? Yeah, concept, self-conception and identity. But for me, it's, to be honest, they have similarities. So I prefer to describe it with one word, to be honest. But you know, people are very sensitive to these terms. In that sense, you are right. It will be some problems if, for example, you have to pass exam and they will tell you, please describe the word personality, how you understand this. And you have to explain how you understand the word identity. But for me, it's, to be honest, the same. By understanding, yeah, but you have to understand that different others, they consider it in different way because they invented this concept. Okay, so now we are in Ericsson traditions. So now we will continue to consider his theory, and now I will be telling you about this crises, yeah, of identity, ego crises, and about this stage. They call it also epigenetic stage, epigenetic, yeah? So do you understand this word, stages? You will be finding something really similar to Freud. Actually, there is some similarity to Freud theory. Remember these psychosexual stages of developing libido. So it's in some point of view, it has some similarity. First stages, at least, for example, yeah. Okay, have you heard about these 8 stages? Do you know maybe the names? So you didn't, you have heard. Trust, yeah. It's what we have as a result, yeah, when we finish this stage. So the idea of Ericsson is that we have this identity, remember, yeah, and we have this crisis. But crisis, he understood not only something really negative, yeah. So he understood crisis as positive. How do you understand the word crisis? Can you describe it?
Что-то критичное, когда тяжело.
So it's something. It's very difficult. Yeah. Okay.
Это перестройка на что-то новое.
Kids.
Когда уже старая установка может не работать, что-то
I also
новое.
think it's positive because you change and the world changes and you change, and your change means that like nothing stays the same and you don't stay on
The same level, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because usually, you know, people who are not psychologists, maybe, but people, they think that crisis and usually something, you know, very negative, yeah. For example, as crisis in politics or economics, if it's crisis and the end, yeah. But in psychology and what Ericsson was talking about, it's something that really gives us growth, yeah, let's call it like that. So remember this identity and remember this ego, yeah. So the first stage, it is called the oral sensory stage. Yes, this is by Ericsson. Oral sensory stage. Does it sound something familiar to you? Yes, it's exactly the same word as Freud, yeah, we're using. And to be honest, it's the same age. Remember age of oral stage? Yes, I will tell you about this. This is, but at first we have to understand what age. From birth to 1 and 1.5 year. Yeah, so it's not the kind of exact date and exact day. And you have to understand one thing more. By the way, when I will be telling you about these stages now, you know, these frames they a little bit changed. So, for example, these things are the same. So we still have to we still have this oral stage from the birth till 1, yeah. But now this frame kind of not looking like, for example, 50 years ago. So when I go further, you have to understand that, for example, at my age now, consider to this theory, I was already kind of in the middle of adolescence and something like that. But if to look at people now in general, people of my age, they are now kind of near with early adolescence, yeah. So you have to understand. But the beginning is kind of, I think, the same. But maybe I'm not sure. Maybe now some children they even start walking earlier. But anyways, yes, and speaking earlier. So you have to understand that it's kind of varies. It's not by years, but by months. It can vary. But usually it's from birth till 18 months somehow. And why Ericsson called it as crisis? Because you see, this is a stage of our development. And on this first stage, when we appear to this world, you remember the things I was describing in Freud theory. Yeah, when we kind of appear in this world, the only person who taking care about us is who? Mother, father, or a parental figure. If we don't have kind of parents, something who is taking care about us. So. You see, when this stage will finish, as a result, we have on one side or trust or we have mistrust. Understand? So this is like the result of the stage. So this is like crisis. Yeah, we have crisis on this stage. Because, as you mentioned yourself, yeah, crisis is something that we something happening and we have to go further. Yeah, we are developing. So in that sense, in this oral sensory stage, first stage, yeah, we have this crisis, and as a result, we can be really trustful, or we can be opposite, really mistrustful. How do you think on which things this depends?
Например, когда мать часто не берет ребенка, например, ребенок плачет, и, по-моему, в этом возрасте рекомендуют все время вот потакать его вот этим
желанием,
потому что у него может развиться некоторая тревожность, потому что мама сейчас уйдет, это опасно, она меня бросила, вот это поэтому недоверие может появиться.
Yes, got it, yeah? You have this idea. So, if, for example, everything went okay in that terms, in that sense, yeah, my parental figure was taking care about me, and when I felt anxiety, I immediately, felt some trust. And as a result, when I finish this stage, I have this trust to the world. Understand? So this thing stays as part of my identity. Remember, yeah, this identity concept that it was consisting of several parts. Yeah. So and this I can't say it's like maybe feature, yeah, or how to say it's like okay, let's call it as feature, but it's more than only feature, yeah, because trust has many things included. So as a result, I have this trust to the world. And you can see such people that are really more trustful to the world. Yeah, they really kind of believe in that sense. Yeah, people and world. And if something goes wrong on the stage, yeah, for example, my parental figure doesn't care about me. They left me somewhere, forgot about me, and I don't have this trust. I have opposite. Or opposite result of this stage, yeah, I have this mistrust.
Я заметила то, что вот недавно у моей тети вот родился ребенок, и она как раз-таки не хочет его брать на руки, когда он плачет, чтобы типа он привык, то, что не всегда вот эти его хотелки будут выполняться. А мы сейчас, по-моему, 6-7 месяцев, и это неправильно, потому что у него, скорее всего, mistrust будет развиваться.
It's not necessary. Maybe you see if she doesn't kind of take him on hands, but maybe if she is taking care about him by words, she doesn't. Okay. And he's staying calm. No. Okay. Okay, so he's still on this stage, and she still has some time. We don't know. Maybe I don't know. Some other parental figures may help. I'm not sure, but maybe if it will be like that, yeah, as a result can be mistrust.
То есть вы говорите то, что в этот момент, даже в этот момент бессознательно происходит формирование идентичности.
Yes.
То есть, и, например, если ребенок наоборот будет не удовлетворен, вот в эти моменты кризисные, да, для него важные, то он потом в последующем будет недоверчивым.
Yes. So this is not me. This is Ericsson was telling. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's not my theory. This is exactly what Ericsson was talking about. Yeah, understand? So this stage is clear. Yeah. Second one. Okay, you have to guess if it's really kind of close to Freud theory. How do you think? What age and how it is called? Don't look. guess. remember Freud theory, yeah. Muscular anal stage. Muscular anal stage. Okay, you remember the age of the stage? By Freud, it's the same. 2, it's near 3 years, so it's exactly after this year, or 1 year or 1.5 year, and maybe near with 2.5 and 3 years, yeah. And what is the main thing what infant do on this stage? Why it is called as anal stage? Remember Freud? Why it is called as anal stage? Yes. So it's like I'm controlling, and in that sense, I will do it myself. You see, we have also 2 things, yeah, autonomy versus shame and doubt. So if everything is okay, for example, I'm kind of learning how to really manage with my kind of how I go to the toilet, yeah. So in that sense, I can do it myself later, yeah, and I can do it independently, and everything is okay. Nobody kind of shamed me and all the things. And that means by the ending of the stage, result will be that autonomy. So I will be really autonomic person. I won't be kind of so dependent on people kind of opinion and if they shame me and all this. Understand? It's clear for you. I don't need it.
В этом возрасте типа поощрять типа его начинание, хочешь со мной приготовить.
Yes. 1.5 till 2.5 maybe. So when people, when small children usually learn how to go to the toilet. Autonomy. Как это? Мускулатура, наверное, да? Это как muscular. So you got it, yeah? Because I learned to go to the toilet. That is why I can be autonomous, or I can depend on people's, I don't know, opinion, and I can't do it myself, for example, and I will be always doubting in myself. Yeah, I will be always shaming someone, something, and all these things. So Ericsson, to be honest, he believed in this part of Freud theory, and he even was telling that, yeah, I agree that there are different type of character. As Freud, remember, he was telling there is an oral type of character if you are stuck somehow in this oral stage, anal type of character. Yeah? So you can imagine such person, yeah, who stuck in this anal stage. Yeah, he is very, how to say, not like sorry, I forgot this English word. Жадный. Как это? Он может быть или жадный, или расточительный. Как это? Вот, help me with the words. Like a greedy, huh? So I was telling that Ericsson was really kind of believing, yeah, in this part of Freud theory, because these stages, at first stages of psychosexual development, Freud was describing, and Freud was telling, yeah, for example, if you are stuck somehow in oral stage, you have oral character. If you somehow stuck in anal stage, you have anal character. So that is why Ericsson also believed and told, yeah, it's this person, if he's stuck in this anal stage, he will be having some kind of this character, yeah. I think. Well, because with Ericsson, part of his theory, of course, connecting with this crisis, he was describing himself, of course, because he suffered. Yeah, he suffered from, I don't know, different diagnoses. I'm not sure about if I kind of give right name to the diagnosis, but anyway, he was suffering. It was some close to depression, psychosis, before he started to go to Anna Freud on psychoanalysis, to be honest. So that is why this part of his theory, I'm sure he kind of describing by his own experience. But he also was working with children, of course. If you have your own children, you can kind of look, yeah, at them, and you can see these things. If you work with children, if you, for example, don't have your own children, but you have nephews, sisters, brothers, and you saw infant, so you can, yeah, I see these things. That's a thing what I'm trying to tell you always in psychology. We can't prove anything. So that's the main thing in psychology. The main actually thing also in psychology, this is what you believe, in what you believe. If you have this belief in something, that will work, yeah. So I suppose Freud just kind of did some, I don't know, notification, and he described it. Ericsson, he already knew about this concept of psychoanalysis, and of course, if I am looking at these things, I can understand, and I can predict, yeah? So if I control going to the toilet, that means if I learn to do it, okay, it's kind of, as a result, can be that I'm autonomous. Understand, yeah? So maybe they saw these people in adult age.
Can, like, influence to this?
What? You can influence. Just help your children.
Little brother, and how can I make him
to help him? At least not to shame. You see, sometimes parents they shame that, oh, how shame on you, yeah. So you did pee in your own trousers, and of course, baby will very, how to say, feel shame and anxiety, ashamed if other people they kind of see me like that, and it can start. Yeah, so you have to be really careful with these things. People are very kind of sensitive, especially infants, yeah, especially small children. They are very sensitive. So you have to explain. Yeah, it can have some influence. You know, there are some concepts that describes also culture from two points of view: the culture of shame and the culture of guilt. So Asian culture is more considering like a culture of shame. European, yeah, more like a culture of guilt. I don't know who is the other of this concept, but there are such things. So in that sense, it's a process. It's not like one time you told him and he understood immediately. He is small. So this is process. So that is why, it's a crisis. So it's a crisis for him. He doesn't understand that he has to do like that, because before, for example, I didn't do this, and now these people, they requires from me something that I don't have. Yeah. So that is why it is crisis. Only when it's process and when my ego is developed and my identity includes some additional things, then I understand that, oh, okay, I have to go to the toilet myself. Just, yeah, understand? Yes, that's a thing. That's also sometimes, yes, people do it instead of a person, and if someone is doing these things instead of me, why I should develop this quality? Okay, someone will do it. So by the logic, how do you think, how the third stage is called?
Phallic.
Yeah, you almost guessed. Genital stage. Yeah. Genital stage. Locomotor. Locomotorная. Okay. Genital stage. Yeah. So initiative versus guilt. This is actually, in Freud theory, it's phallic stage. Remember, from 3 till 6, yeah, somehow. So how do you understand these words, initiative versus guilt? So that means if everything is okay, I will be initiative, and if something again went wrong, I will be with this feeling, yeah. Guilt, yeah, it's mostly connected with not only with my body, but remember this Oedipal drama, yeah, it's about parental figures, and if something, I don't know, if I feel guilty, yeah, for something that I want to kill my father, if it's a Oedipal drama, it's metaphoric, yeah. And in that sense, if everything kind of goes okay, I will be initiative person. So in this stage, actually, the huge role gives play, game, игра. Ведущая роль здесь играет, так говорят, играет игра, play. So the leading role is play. So during this stage, we always have, yeah, this plays. We always play, yeah, and it's very kind of important thing for psychology also. The psychology of play, psychology, not game. Game is computer game, yeah. Psychology of play, yeah. And this is really kind of important according to Ericsson. Time for playing, because I can react all these things in play. That is why if I do it myself and playing and I'm not how to say, not staying in guilt, then it means I will be initiative. So I'm not stuck with this feeling. I'm doing something. I'm playing. You understand? Are you sure? So absolutely clear. No? Who understood? Can you explain? From biography of Eric Ericsson, he had 4 or 5 children, and one of them had Down syndrome. Yeah, so I think when he was describing the things, it's not only about normal, but it's about maybe abnormal things. I don't know about Down syndrome. I mean, I'm not psychiatrist. I kind of can be mistaken. I know that they have something with intellectual activity, Down syndrome, but I think they can play. Of course they can play, and it's not necessary they have this feeling of guilt.
Они не играют, они просто, у них mistrust миру, и они просто осматривают.
Ну, это дети из неблагополучных семей? Вот, да. Потому что они же игрушек даже не дотрагиваются.
Okay,
Они смотрят на людей, кто реакцию взрослых.
It can be like that. It can happen with anyone. So that is why it has 2 different directions. Yeah, or we have initiative when we finish this stage. Yeah, or we have this feeling of guilt. So it can happen true if I don't have, I don't know, place. If parents don't pay attention at me, it can be many factors. Yeah, but ideal, of course, ideal and positive thing. If I am an initiative person, yeah. I have, if I decided to do something, I will do, yeah, so I don't depend when someone will do it instead of me. Play is a part of our, how to say, development. It's part of us. We always play. So you understood, yeah, about this stage? Latency stage. Remember, it's the same actually word as Freud, yeah, we were describing. The latency stage and the age, I actually wrote it here. 6-12. So here, yeah, on positive, yeah, positive part, or how to say, positive side, we have this industry, yeah, and if something went wrong, we have this inferiority. Do you understand these words? Industry на русский язык переводится как трудолюбие. Трудолюбие, а inferiority это неполноценность. Yeah, so you see the stage, yes, it's from 6 till 12. So in that age, usually what we do? Yes, we go to school. We go to school and we have new friends and we kind of learn something, teachers, school, classmates and other things. But it's really important if, for example, now we have schools, but there are some societies where there is no any schools, yeah? So, and if, for example, you were not studying at school, how do you think what your parents will do with you? And how do you think what will you be doing this age, for example, if you don't have school? Usually what people do in this, yeah, physical work, yeah, you have to wash your dish. I mean, if you go to school, you also have these things, of course, yeah. Yes, yes, but why I'm telling you about that, because Ericsson was describing these things according to his research about these Indian tribes, yeah, this American, I mean, tribes of children who they didn't have school, yeah, but he paid attention that this work that they do, I don't know how to call it, not homework, housework, how it is. Housework, yeah. Farm work. So you understood, yeah. So that's since how he developed, yeah, and it's really important, true, because if you, for example, learn in this age, yeah, how to have a deal with all these things, you will be really kind of, in that sense, you have this industry. But if you don't kind of do anything, yeah, and when you're getting older, you don't have these things. That means you kind of feel yourself inferior, yeah, because you can't take care about yourself. I'm just giving an example. It's not necessarily like that, but I can't, for example, clean my room and all these things. It's just metaphorical, yeah. But you understood? Do I have to stop on this stage, or it's clear? Okay. Next stage. So next stage is actually your stage. Freud stopped actually on force, yeah, and here, okay, here it's your stage, adolescence. It is called adolescence. Yes, how do you think, what the end of this stage? Till 30? Yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to tell you that now it's not, how to say, the same figures as he was describing, but how do you think, what figures he meant? It's your age. Actually, it's about your age. You understand, yeah, what you have as a result on this age. It's starting from 12 till 19, 20. It's more about actually, no. It's also pubertät. But you, I don't know. You already passed this stage. I suppose you're not teenagers, yeah, anymore. But now, to be honest, I consider this adolescence is not, I don't think it's still 19 or 20, sorry, I think it goes a little bit further, yeah. But anyway, it's your stage. So you're still here. you didn't go further. And how you understand this thing? It's easy for you to understand because you're exactly on the stage. Gender identity is a little bit earlier. It's earlier. Here, it can be here, but I mean, it's also part of your identity. Your sexual orientation can be part of your identity, it's true, but this is not the only thing that you have as a result. Remember this construct, of identity, I described it. So, in that sense, remember all these 4 parts, the wholeness, what else, sameness, unique, what? So you remember, the things. So exactly, if everything is okay, as a result, you have this identity, and if something is going wrong, you have, as a result, role confusion. You don't understand who you are. You really don't understand what's your role, your position. So, as you can remember, I already mentioned about this test today, about who am I test, so you were describing yourself. This is actually part of your identity. If you kind of remember these answers, maybe some of you described it, it was really easy for you to describe these things, and you didn't think even, I really clearly understand about myself that I am like that and like that, but for someone of you, it can be really difficult. It could be really difficult, and you were not able to describe, and maybe you had some features that really, in contradiction, in between. Yes, for example, you describe I'm bad, and you describe I'm good. I'm just giving an example, and that means it's like role confusion. So this is really sensitive stage for your identity, but you're still developing it. So it's not like that if you are in this stage, you have this identity. I'm telling you, it's you are 19, 19? 19, okay. So by Ericsson, this stage has to finish at 19, but I'm telling you that now we have to kind of consider these frames again. It's not like if I have a birthday today and I'm 19, I will have an identity or I will be kind of role confusion, So this is process, but and now your crisis about identity. So now you're understanding about who you are. So is it clear? Can I go further? Okay, how do you think which stage, what age will be next?
Young adult. This, like, young adult.
Young adult. That's true. No, that's true. That's true. Young adulthood. It is called like that, exactly. Young adulthood, and maybe you can guess what we can have here. Okay, intimacy versus isolation. So, how do you think? What age it was when Ericsson was describing? 22. 25. 25. You know Ericsson theory, You guessed everything. Yes, 25. I'm just joking, So it's young adulthood, and the age was from 20 till 25. So it's a positive, result. We have this thing that called intimacy, How do you understand these things, by the way? Intimacy versus isolation. How do you think? What is about? Intimacy, близость, она таки близость против изоляции. Близость против изоляции. This you consider as positive. No, it's opposite. This has to be a positive exit from this stage, not this. This means I am staying alone. If I go through this stage and I don't go kind of good from this crisis, I don't exit, I don't get good result, I will be an isolated person, I will be lonely. But Yeah, so with this stage is really important. Usually in this stage, people, they kind of doing, they building some relationship. I mean, before, of course, you have some friends, but it's so to build and to have this capacity to build really good friendship. It's also capacity. I mean, you have to understand that not everyone can build really good friendship. I'm telling not only about I don't know other kind of relationship. It's not necessary to get married and have this understanding that I'm kind of good in relationship. No, these friends, relationship. Some relationship with colleagues, it also has, you have to have some family, some property, I don't know how to explain, some features to do this. And usually in this stage, people get married, of course, I mean, not necessary, but before it was like that, now this frame, I'm telling you, we have to reconsider this, but when Ericsson was describing this theory, in that age, people already, they started to build their family. That means capacity to this intimate relationship. So it's not only about sexual relationship, intimacy, this is a word, it's like closeness, So I'm able to build close relationship with people, friends, I don't know, partners, and other things. Do you understand? So do I need to stop here?
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Intimacy, like friends?
Like it's closeness. It's not like intimate relationship. Intimacy, the word translates in Russian like blизость. So it's like when I'm able to have close relationship with anyone, I can do friendship, I can love, I can build a trustful relationship with my family, with my husband, and all these things. That is called as intimacy. This is a positive exit from this stage, from this crisis. Is it clear? Can I go further? Okay, next one. How do you think what the name? Yes, adulthood. It's easy. Adulthood. How do you think what we have as a result, what we can have as possible results in this stage? Generativity versus stagnation. Do you know how this words translated? Да, продуктивность. Generativity. 26 till
40.
64. 26 till 64. Funny, yeah? So it's really strong. It's really kind of long, adulthood, because it's starting from 26 and finishing 64, so it's almost 40 years. For 40 years it can be more stages. But when he was describing this theory, I'm telling you, the time was really different. It's actually time 26 till 64 when I work, of course. I have my own family if I have, I have my job, colleagues, work, and in that sense, if I'm able to generate some ideas, products, I don't know, and something, if I'm able to generate, or I'm not able, and then I have this stagnation. Understand if I don't generate anything, so I can have this stagnation. Do I have to understand something, to explain something about this stage? Generativity versus stagnation. Стагнация, да, продуктивность против стагнации. На русский язык переводят как продуктивность против инертности. Хотя слово стагнация, на мой взгляд, как-то лучше передает смысл, чем инертность. Clear? Next one, the last one actually. And how do you think the name of the stage? I don't know. Maybe he was living in different, time. So now it's a little bit different. We have. It was really different because now, for example, you're 20, yeah? And now, for example, you have this educational system in Soviet Union. When you were studying and you were finishing school, after you went to the army, yeah, it was for boys. But when boys went to the army, they arrived and they already had a family. Now you, for example, graduating from school, then several years in university. After it's not finished, okay, it's maybe some other studies. You go to do your master degree, maybe PhD, and how old are you already? 30. But before it has to be already, which I don't remember. It was about adolescence, yeah. So it's 20. And now you're already 30. Understand? So the time is changing. Okay, the last stage by Ericsson, it's maturity. Зрелость. Да? So maturity, the age. You can guess. Yes, and till the end. So this is the last. So this is last stage, yeah. And for example, if everything with my life was kind of okay, what do I mean by everything was okay? I passed through these stages and I got positive result, yeah, from these stages. That means on this stage I have this maturity. I have my ego really. Like the wholeness, I understand what I did, I accept everything, yeah. What else? I'm very wisdom person. All these contradictions that I had in my life, it's okay for me. They're not contradictions to me. I can understand, yeah, many things. It's my ego is really like wholeness, yeah. Understand? Yeah, ego integrity, целостность я, цельность я на русский так это переводят, цельность я. Ego integrity, and if of course, if even I passed a previous stage and I get positive results from this stage, but anyway, when I'm in this time and in this stage, on maturity stage, it's not necessary. I accepted some things. I made my conclusions and kind of accept my life. And in that sense, I become desperate and I'm despair. Yeah, it happens with people often when they in this crisis. You can see. Yeah, so no, it's not about this, how they call it, the dementia, yeah. It's about some people, they, for example, were working or they didn't work. They, for example, don't have a family, no work, nothing, and they were not able to build, I don't know, any relationship. They are staying alone, and if they didn't do any, I don't know, productivity and this generativity, yeah, they didn't do anything. So that means I can be desperate, yeah. So what did I do in my life, for example? I just given you example because I'm not on this stage. It's really difficult for me to understand, but I can make some. No. Yes. Yes, it can be like so. That's the thing. It's about ego integrity. So it's about how a person goes through this crisis. Because some people, for example, this age, I can hear from them, "Oh, I'm already old. Oh, the life is over." But some of them, they tell, "Okay, so I'm at this age. I can do many things that I was not able to do before." For example, in America and in Europe, they work most of their life, but when they go to this kind of age, they start traveling. It's very funny because I traveled a lot, and there are a lot of tourists of this age, and they enjoy this kind of time of their life because finally they can do something that they really like. And I'm telling you about yes. So I'm telling you about Western society. Here, for example, we have opposite situation. Here we have a little bit different values, but anyway, people of this age, they are kind of, some of them, they are really wisdom, yeah, they have huge families, yeah, and many grandchildren, and if even they left from the home and it was some kind of crisis for them, but anyway, it's kind of, they have this ego integrity. It's not necessary to be despair. So do you understand about these crises? And that was how Ericsson was describing these crises, and it's like positive, saying that if we have this crisis, on the next stage we have to kind of come in different way with the different me, but it's not like I forgot about myself, my old me, but it's like I came here on the next stage with something that made my personality wide and more kind of older we are, and all the things we have and go here. Okay. Now, why this crisis happens? In teenage time, for example, when you are in your teen, it's also hormone things. So these hormones, they change your behavior, and you have to behave in different way, but your brain is still the same level. That is why it's really kind of complicated crisis you don't understand. So you are not, I mean, biologically kind of ready to these things. When you get older, for example, it's not about biological things, it's about society changing in my life, but I can't be the same position always. I have to change. So, and that is why crisis, I need crisis, because they show me that I have to go on new level, on new stage of my life. So I can't be, like, for example, when I was 17, so I can't, for example, do something that I was able, it's not like I can't. So literally, now I understand, and when I was your age, I was thinking, how these people, they don't want to come with us, they don't want to have some fun, or they always tell us about their work and the family and all those things. And now I really understand that it's like, it's not like because you have to, or you don't have to, you really don't want to do the things that I really wanted to do when I was 18, but I'm the same person. I mean, it's the same body, the same brain, but psychologically I kind of on another level or stage. Understand? Yeah.